Offer my humble obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet. Before reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Nandanayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in the classes on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Gurave Gaurachandraye Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavas, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Granth Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 9. Prahlad Maharaj pacifies Lord Nrsingadev with his prayers. So we read till text number 40 yesterday, and we were discussing that how Prahlad Maharaj, first of all, is very, very humble, that he is speaking that, oh, I have all these bad things, attachment to women, materialistic desires, etc. So how do I purify? How do I control my mind? But actually Prabhupada says that he is not talking about himself. He represents a common man like myself, and showing us, asking these questions and showing that how we should be humble and always strive for bhakti. So let's see what happens next. Text number 41. Evam swakarma patitam bhava vitranyam Anyonya janma maranashana bhita bhitam Pashyan janam swapara vigraha vairamitram Hanteti parachara piprihi mudam adya. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. My dear Lord, you are always transcendently situated on the other side of the river of death. But because of the reactions of our own activities, we are suffering on this side. Indeed, we have fallen into this river and are repeatedly suffering the pains of birth and death and eating horrible things. Now kindly look upon us, and not only upon me, but also upon all others who are suffering. And by your causeless mercy and compassion, deliver us and maintain us. Purport. Prahlad Maharaj, a pure Vaishnava, prays to the Lord not only for himself, but for all other suffering living entities. There are two classes of Vaishnavas, the Bhajananandis and the Goshti Anandis. The Bhajananandis worship the Lord only for their own personal benefit. But the Goshtanandis try to elevate all others to Kṛṣṇa consciousness so that they may be saved. Fools who cannot perceive repeated birth and death and the other miseries of materialistic life cannot be sure of what will happen to them in their next birth. Indeed, these foolish, materially contaminated rascals have manufactured an irresponsible way of life that does not consider the next life. They do not know that according to one's own activities, one receives a body selected from 8.4 million species. These rascals have been described in the Bhagavad Gita as Dushkritino Mudaha. Non-devotees, those who are not Krishna conscious, must engage in sinful activities, and therefore they are called Mudas. fools and rascals. They are such fools that they do not know what will happen to them in their next life. Although they see varieties of living creatures eating abominable things, pigs eating stool, crocodiles eating all kinds of flesh, and so on. They do not realize that they themselves, because of their practice of eating all kinds of nonsense in this life, will be destined to eat the most abominable things in their next life. A Vaishnava is always afraid of such an abominable life, and to free himself from such horrible conditions, he engages himself in devotional service of the Supreme Lord. The Lord is so compassionate to them, and therefore he appears for their benefit. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srajamyaham. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in the religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. Bhagavad Gita 4.7. The Lord is always ready to help the fallen souls. But because they are fools and rascals, they do not take to Krishna consciousness and abide by the instructions of Krishna. Therefore, although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is personally the Supreme Lord Krishna, he comes as a devotee to preach the Krishna consciousness movement. Yare dekhe tare kaho Krishna upadesh. One must therefore become a sincere servant of Krishna. Amara agya guru hanatara desh. Chaitanya Chaitamrit Madhurila 7:128. One should become a guru and spread Krishna consciousness all over the world simply by preaching the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. So, Prahlad Maharaj's wonderful devotional qualities are seen in this verse. Earlier, we saw how out of humility he was, all his prayers were full of humility and gratitude. Now, his compassionate nature is seen. That a devotee is Suhrida Sarva Bhutana, is the friend of everyone. And so he is not only in the Hari Varsha also, we read in Canto 5, that he was praying that may everyone be Krishna conscious, may everyone be free from enmity, may everyone take to the wonderful process of bhakti. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying, oh Lord, kindly look upon us, so that right now we are suffering on this side of the river and you are transcendently situated on the other side of the river. Referring, as far as my understanding is concerned, the Viraja river. The Viraja river separates the material world and the spiritual world. Basically also is referred to as the causal ocean. So spiritual world and material world are separated by this river named Viraja river. So on the lower side is the material world where we are, where the Baddha Jivas are, the suffering souls are. Prahlad Maharaj is counting himself also in that category, but actually these souls, like the Mahabhagavat Prahlad, they don't come as out of their bad karma to the material world. They come because they are so special to the Lord and they come to enhance the rasa in the pastimes of the Lord. But Prahlad Maharaj is talking about others so that others, Lord can look upon others. So he's praying basically for the welfare of everyone because of his compassionate nature. And Prabhupada is emphasizing that point that yes, that is the compassion. Of course, who am I to share compassion upon anyone else? But we just have to become an instrument of that compassion, instrument of Lord Chaitanya's compassion, instrument of Srila Prabhupada's compassion. Nimitta matra bhava savyasachi. Oh Arjuna, just become an instrument to share that, to share what we have received. So everyone must do it. It's not that, okay, only sannyasis have to preach, or only sannyasis can be guru. Everyone, Prabhupada is writing here, one should become a guru. And guru means, not, okay, initiating guru. Guru means one who helps the other person to make spiritual progress, to guide, even, it could be just telling, please come for this program, or please come to the temple. That's also showing someone the path. Or please come for this class, or please take this book. That person is actually a guru, one who showed the right path, that this is Bhagavad Gita, this is transcendental literature. This temple, you will hear about Krishna. You will meet friends who will, share about Krishna. So guru is not the literal meaning, but guru means to share Krishna consciousness, to preach this message according to our own abilities and realization. Whatever we have received, we must share. And why do we share? For our own benefit. Really, sharing really helps to improve our own bhakti. I have experienced that, and certainly many devotees have shared that sharing helps us to go deeper in our own sadhana, in our own principles. So one must, because this is the order of Lord Chaitanya. This is the order of, and I was reading this book, When Good Fortune Arises. It's the life and teachings of God Govind Swami Maharaj. Really exemplary, really. First time Srila Prabhupada met Gaur Govind Maharaj, of course, he was a brahmachari at that point, and said, go to Orissa and Bhubaneswar and open up the center. Someone has given us a land, which was like practically like a jungle. So can you go? And he was like, can I get some help, some people, some money, some resources? Prabhupada said, no. I went to a foreign land with no resources. You are going to your homeland. So, and then he said, I just took that instruction as Guru Vakya Shirodharya, taking the instructions of the Guru on my head. I just took that, and later wonderful things happened. But the point here is, we are not qualified, yes, but taking that instruction from Lord Chaitanya, from Srila Prabhupada, we must do our best. Rest is upon Krishna. We must do our bhakti sincerely and also make an effort in whatever situation we may be in to share that with others, our friends, relatives, neighbors, colleagues, anyone and everyone. Yare dekho tare kaho. You don't have to distinguish. Oh, I will only share with North Indians because I am from North India. I'll only share with them. Well, I'll only share with Indians because I am Indian. I'll only share with the brown skin because I am brown skin. This is all bodied. Anyone whom we meet, anyone who is favorable to take this message. So preaching is the essence of this verse. And Prabhupada is also mentioning people don't want to take. They do not care nowadays. Oh, who cares about next life? But if someone tells, well, do you know what you'll be becoming in next life and what you'll be eating, what pig eats? They just become blind to those points. So one has to, Krishna wants to give, Krishna wants to uplift everyone, but they do not want to take. Prabhupada is writing. They do not want to abide by the instructions of Krishna. So what to do? Any other comments anyone has? Any questions? Okay, so let's read the next verse, text number 42. Yes, Umesh Prabhu, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Pranam to everyone. Text 42. Ko vantra te khila kuro bhagavana prayasya uttaranes bhava sambhava lopaheto udeshu ve mahadanugraha artabandho kintena te priyajana na yusevatam na. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of the Godhead, original spiritual master of the entire world, what is the difficulty for you who manage the affairs of the universe in delivering the fallen souls engaged in your devotional service? You are the friend of all suffering humanity, and for great personalities, it is necessary to show mercy to the foolish. Therefore, I think that you will show your causeless mercy to a person like us who engage in your service. Purport. Here is the word Priyajanam Anusevatam now indicates that the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, is very favorable to devotee who act according to instruction of his own devotee. In other words, one must become the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord if one wants to become the servant of the Lord directly. This is not as fruitful as engaging in the service of the Lord's servant. This is the direction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who shows us the way to become a Gopi Bharatu Pada Kamalavera Dasa Dasa Nu Dasa. One should not be proud of becoming directly the servant of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Rather, one must seek a pure devotee, a servant of the Lord, and engage oneself in the service of such a servant. The more one becomes the servant of the servant, the more one becomes the perfect in devotional service. This is also the injection of Bhagavad Gita. Evam parampara prapatam imam rajasyo vidhu. One can understand the science of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead simply by parampara system. In this regard, Srila Narottama Das Thakur says, Tandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sena Vasa. Let me serve the lotus feet of the devotee of the Lord and let me live with the devotees. Janame Janame Haya Hi Abhilasha. Following Narottama Das Thakur, one should aspire to be a servant of the Lord's servant, life after life. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings, Tumi to Thakura Tamara Kukura Baliya Jane Hamur. O Lord, O my Lord, O Vaishnava, please consider me your dog. One must become the dog of the Vaishnava. A pure devotee, for a pure devotee can deliver Kṛṣṇa without difficulty. Kṛṣṇa se tumharo Kṛṣṇa dite para. Kṛṣṇa is the property of the pure devotee, and if we take shelter of a pure devotee, he can deliver Kṛṣṇa very easily. Prahlada wants to engage in the service of a devotee and therefore he prays to Kṛṣṇa, My dear Lord, kindly give me the shelter of your very dear devotee so that I may engage in his service and you may then be pleased. Madhbhakta Puja Bhiya Dika. Bhagavatam 11.19.21. The Lord says, engage in the service of my devotee is better than trying to engage in my devotional service. Another significant point in this verse is that by devotional service, Prahlad Maharaja does not want to benefit alone. Rather, he pays to the Lord that all of us fallen souls in this material world may, by the grace of the Lord, engage in the service of his servant and thus be delivered. The grace of the Lord is not at all difficult for the Lord to be bestowed, and thus Prahlad Maharaja wants to save the whole world by spreading the Krishna consciousness. So here we can see that how great Prahlad Maharaja is. He is a transcendental position, but he's still requesting the Lord regarding to the causeless mercy of every living being entity in this world. So that shows that Prahlad Maharaj's nature is not selfish, but thinking for the other people also. Having is in transcendental position, he wanted to benefit from Lord. And how come the fallen soul gets the benefit from the Lord's service. And what is the difficulty for the Lord? Prahlad Maharaj is asking, and Prahlad Maharaj knows that the Lord has no difficulty about all these things. And he just wants to deliver for the fallen souls also. And Prabhupada ji is also making a very wonderful point, the secret of every devotee directly worshipping to the Lord. We should be always servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. That way, we get to learn so many things from the pure devotee. By directly serving, you may or may not know the so many things. You know, I myself know that so many things I don't know, but I just most of the time came to know that from our group and your association that some of the things I'm learning and that helps me. And that's the point here Prabhupada is mentioning that you should be a servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. And that way you get progress into this devotional service. That's my understanding, Prabhu. Thank you. Back to you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. So nicely you explained this point. And that's the difference between the Nishtha or the third class, or how do I say, like a neophyte devotee, and the first class. The neophyte directly wants to jump to Krishna, directly wants to jump to DT and trespassing the parampara. So, but Prabhupada is giving us a secret here. If we want to become perfect in devotional service, Prabhupada is writing, I'm just repeating the purport. The more one becomes the servant of the servant, the more one becomes perfect in devotional service. It's exactly from the purport. So, this principle of which Prahlad Maharaj is asking, association of devotees. He asked that before also, directly in the prayers before also. He asked, I want the association of devotees. Narottam Das Thakur asking for association of devotees. Haridas Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur. All these great acharyas are asking the same thing, is association. And no doubt, association is amongst the topmost of limb of bhakti. Amongst the 64 limbs, 5 are most important. Amongst the 5, sadhu sangha. It begins with sadhu sangha. The ABCD of bhakti begins with A of association. Sadhu sangha, nama kirtan, bhagavat shravana, mathura vasa, Srimurtira Shraddhaya Sevan. Without sadhu sangha, all those following limbs are practically not possible. And that's what we read in the previous word. We don't have to become Bhajananandi. Just going to, as Bhadra Prabhu was explaining the other day, quoting Bhakti Shiru Maharaj, we don't have to go to just sit on the banks of Radha Kund or Mathura and just stay there throughout the rest of our life. Maybe not, certainly for the majority of the people in this age group, certainly not. That's not the process. The process here is association, and to expand the family as much as we can, to build that association, to seek that association. And that's the foremost. The ABCDE of bhakti starts with A of association. So that is a very, very good thing. Always praying, Krishna, always keep me in the association of devotees. And there's one fear which devotees should have. It's a healthy fear of not losing association of devotees. So because often, sometimes we may take it for granted. Oh, I meet them every week, or I used to meet them every week. Oh, a temple is not very far from my home. Or devotees don't live far from my home. What's the big deal? I see them every Saturday or Sunday. What's a big deal? But it is certainly a very, very big deal. It is a very, very big deal. Meeting devotees, association of devotees is very, very rare. Very, very, very rare. Durlabha manusho deho dehinam shan bhangure. This human life is durlabha. Manusha Deha is very, very durlabha. Dehimna Shanbhangur. In a shana or in a second or a fraction of second, it can be destroyed. Tatrapi durlabham manye Vaikuntha Priya Darshanam. Much more rare in the human form of life is to have the association of devotees, Vaikuntha Priya Darshanam. So that's very, very rare. And as I was reading this book, I'll share one point from this book. By the association of devotees, even a dog-like person can develop attraction to the sweet aroma of Krishna's lotus feet. Isn't that amazing? I'm certainly dog-like, no taste for Krishna. Not a pet Krishna's dog. That dog is good, with kantimala, with sincere desire to serve Krishna. But a stray dog who has no interest in Krishna consciousness, that can also develop attraction to Krishna's lotus feet by the association of devotees. So what to speak of humans? So there's a nice verse from Hari Bhakti Vilas actually. Any other comments anyone has before we move to the next one?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, another point I realized that here in the purport, Prabhupada they say that the significant point is Prahlad Maharaja does not want to benefit alone. If he want, he could have, but not. And this is the path Prabhupada has been chosen. As if he want, he could have liberated alone, I guess. But when I saw that series on the YouTube, Abhay Charan, that's where I realized that the significant work of Prabhupada's. Until then, I have just listened, but when I actually seen that serial, uh, that that really opens the eyes, and that this point is basically fits there that if Prabhupada won, he could have been benefited alone, actually, But no, he did not choose that. He chose to come back to here in these Western countries and get benefited for millions and millions. And furthermore, also, how many millions and billions will get benefit from this movement. So I just wanted to say that.
It's a wonderful reflection. Thank you. And then Prabhupada has that same mood of Prahlad Maharaj. Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice point. Yes, Bhadra Prabhu, you were saying something. Sorry.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhu's Dandvat everybody. In all these verses, we are seeing the compassionate nature of Prahlad Maharaj, as you mentioned. And in this sloka, he's practically telling, he's saying to Lord Narasimha, it is your duty. He's saying. So he is saying that because you expand yourself in billions of forms to deliver the people of the material world. And you are also the creator, maintainer, and annihilator. You are everything. And we are on the other side of the river. We are here suffering. All living entities are suffering here. So please be compassionate and deliver everybody. And it is said that by this prayer, everybody during that time, everybody was, according to, I heard from, it will come probably from Srila Radha Govind Maharaj, that during that time, everybody was delivered by the mercy of Prahlad Maharaj during that time. So considering that point, Srila Prabhupada is in the purport elaborating that Prahlad Maharaj is praying for us, so we should be a dog of our spiritual master, and we should serve the Das Gopi Bhartu Padakamal Das Dasanudas, servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. If you do that, because the pure devotee has that compassion, and pure devotee's desire, Lord will fulfill the pure devotee's desire. That is the promise, that is given promise, 100%. That's why Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here to service of servant of the servant of the servant of the devotees. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Just have a quick question from the purport. Bhadra Prabhu was telling about delivering, right? Delivering the devotee. But in the purport here it said, and if we take shelter of pure devotee, he can deliver Krishna very easily. Should that be deliver that person? Because usually we see deliver as taking a person to Krishna, right? So deliver Krishna or deliver devotee? Just confused with that word, deliver.
Well, pure devotee is going to bring us to Krishna. That's the point. Pure devotee is going to help us to cross this Virja river and bring us to Krishna. As we talked before, that as Srila Prabhupada has said, we talk about Srila Prabhupada's mention that, he was in Vyasas and he said 100% pure. I talked about that in my last class, right? But then devotees were say, how can it be 100% pure? So he said, of course, 75%. So that 25% which is lacking in our us, that will Srila Prabhupada will take care of that. You see? So that is the mercy of the pure devotee of Lord, and he takes us. But that doesn't mean we sit around. Point is we have to follow the instruction of the pure devotee of the Lord, of our spiritual master. And with that instruction, if we continue it, then whatever is lacking in our side, that will be taken care by the pure devotee, by our spiritual master. He will provide that we have that intense desire in our heart to do that also. Follow? That's the mercy. And we serve instruction of spiritual master, then mercy will automatically come. I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji.
So the word deliver is like give. We can read as Krishna dite paro, dite dena. Di means to give. So Tomara Shakti Achi, that's the bhajan by Vaishnav Thakur. So he gives Krishna. Okay, let's read the next verse, text 43.
Prabhu, I have a comment.
Yeah, Prabhu, please.
I just want to share that Bongshvilas Prabhu was asking. We can see that, Krishna was delivered to us, like Srila Advaita Acharya brought Krishna just because he saw the condition of the fallen souls. And we see that Srila Prabhupada brought Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam accessible to so many people's house. Even Srila Prabhupada opened Vrindavan to a whole world. What Prabhupada is mentioning here, that when a devotee, pure devotee, or they request Krishna, Krishna even come, and there is this bhajan by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. It says that Vaishnavero abedane Krishna dayamoy. Just because of Vaishnava's request, Krishna, he even changes his position, or he can do what he wants. So I just want to add that. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, back to you.
Thank you, Prabhu. That's amazing. Okay. Who would like to read the next one? Raghu Prabhu, you want to read?
Thank you. Hare Krishna devotees, text 43. Naivod Vijay Para Duratyaya Vaitranyas Tvat Virya Gayana Mahamrita Magna Chitta Soche Tato Vimuka Setasa Indriyartha Maya Sukaya Baram Udavato Vimudan. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. O best of the great personalities, I am not at all afraid of material existence, for wherever I stay, I am fully absorbed in thoughts of your glories and activities. My concern is only for the fools and rascals who are making elaborate plans for material happiness and maintaining their families, societies, and countries. I am simply concerned with love for them. Purport. Throughout the entire world, everyone is making big plans to adjust the miseries of the material world, and this is true at present, in the past, and in the future. Nonetheless, although they make elaborate political, social, and cultural plans, they have all been described herein as vimuda, fools. The material world has been described in Bhagavad Gita as dukkhalayam ashashvatam, temporary and miserable. But these fools are trying to turn the material world into sukhalayam, a place of happiness, not knowing how everything acts by the arrangement of material nature, which works in her own way. Prakrite kriyama nani guniya karmani sarvasa ankara vimudatma kataham trimanyate. The bewildered soul, the bewildered spirit soul, under the influence of the three modes of material nature, thinks himself to be the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by nature. Bhagavad Gita 3.27. There is a plan for material nature, personally known as Durga, to punish the demons. Although the Asuras, the godless demons, struggle for existence, they are directly attacked by the goddess Durga, who is well equipped with 10 hands, with different types of weapons to punish them. She is carried by a lion carrier of the modes of passion and ignorance. Everyone struggles very hard to fight through the modes of passion and ignorance and conquer material nature. But at the end, everyone is vanquished by nature's laws. There is a river known as Vaitrani between the material and spiritual worlds, and one must cross this river to reach the other side or the spiritual world. This is an extremely difficult task. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 7.14, Daivahi Esha Gunamaya Mama Maya Duratyaya. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. The same word, Duratyaya, meaning very difficult, is used here. Therefore, one cannot surpass the stringent laws of material nature except by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Nonetheless, although all materialists are baffled in their plans, they try again and again to become happy in the material world. Therefore, they have been described as vimuda, first-class fools. As for Prahlad Maharaj, he was not at all unhappy, for although he was in the material world, he was full of Krishna consciousness. Those who are Krishna conscious, try to serve the Lord, are not unhappy, whereas one who has no assets in Krishna consciousness and is struggling for existence is not only foolish but extremely unhappy also. Prahlad Maharaj was happy and unhappy simultaneously. He felt happiness and transcendental bliss because of his being Krishna conscious. Yet he felt great unhappiness for the fools and rascals who make elaborate plans to be happy in this material world. Hare Krishna, devotees. A very nice verse in purport and text here. So it's being described here how Prahlad Maharaj, of course, is a great devotee, fully absorbed in the Lord, in the Krishna consciousness. But as we have seen before, people who are devotees and are fully absorbed in the Lord, in Krishna consciousness, also feel a sympathy or sorry for people who are gone on different ways, on the materialistic ways, constantly trying to look for happiness where there's no happiness. So this sort of thing is going on. These people are in the mode of passion and ignorance, and they go from one misery to another misery, chasing happiness, uh, and only leading to more misery. So Prabhupada is explaining here again that how it's important for the Krishna people who are devotees in the Krishna consciousness movement are not unhappy. They're always happy because they've got the biggest asset uh, in Krishna. But then they're also unhappy because there are so many people around them who are going around all over the place. And often we have heard of the example of Prabhupada. Sri Prabhupada was riding in a car in New York, and he had tears in his eyes because he saw all the rat race, all the people going around, and how the sidewalks in New York are filled with people struggling from morning till evening. And that's what made him unhappy. We're just feeling sorry for all those fools. So even here now in Florida, we have things have opened up again, and all the young people and they're all hitting the bars and restaurants, and the coronavirus is back again. So it's raging. So really, there's no happiness in such kind of life. That's what this chapter is saying. I mean, this purport is saying. Back to you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Raghu Prabhu. Really nice. This again shows the compassion, the humility, the paradukha dukhi nature. Seeing the suffering of others, Prahlad Maharaj's soft heart is moved. And he knows the real solution. Because everyone thinks that, yes, more money will give me the happiness. I'm talking about myself. Actually, what elaborate plans, the fools and rascals like myself think, oh, no. Material happiness, my new home will give me happiness. Oh, if I get a new car, that will give me so much happiness. Or if I do this for my family, material things, that will make me happy, my family happy, my nation happy, my society happy. But ignoring Krishna, if we take Krishna out of the picture, it's all Shrama eva hi kevalam. Keeping always in mind the example of Hiranyakashipu. Who can be more powerful than Hiranyakashipu in this material world? Who can have more wealth? Who can have more strength in this material world than Hiranyakashipu? The demigods, he would move his eyebrow and they would, tremble in fear and bring anything he wanted. That was the power of Hiranyakashipu. But we discussed that he was always in Dirgha Chinta. He was always in great anxiety. Even after having all the material wealth, even after having so much strength, beauty, power, kingdom, but unhappy. On the contrary, so many devotees, they may have very little. Sudama Vipra, what he had. Kulavicha Sridhar, what he had. Haridas Thakur, the 6 Goswamis first, they had a lot of wealth, but later they were sleeping under a different tree every night. But they had the real wealth of Krishna consciousness, which gives true happiness, which gives true satisfaction. Krishna das sakaleva shanta. Bhukti mukti siddhi kami sadeva ashanta. Those who are desiring material wealth, desiring bhukti, mukti, liberation, impersonal liberation, siddhis, kamis. Hiranyakashipu had all that. It was always ashanta. Prabhupada then mentioned that crossing this ocean is not an easy thing. But then this verse comes to my mind from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It is Samashritaye Padapallavaplavam Mahat Padam Punyayasho Murare Bhavam Buddhirvatsa Padam Param Padam 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 Yadvipadam Natesham. Such beautiful verse and often quoted by Prabhupada. For those who have accepted the boat of the lotus feet of the Lord. See, the words are so poetic. The boat of lotus feet of the Lord. This material world is like a ocean, cosmic manifestation. This Viraja river, or referred here as a Vitarani river, same, or often causal ocean, or Karunadakshai Sagar, same thing. So who is the shelter of the cosmic manifestation and is famous as Murari, the killer of Mura demon, the enemy of Mura demon, the ocean of material world. All this Bhava Sagar is like the water contained in the hoof print of a calf, not even a cow. The hoof print of a calf. Even a little baby can jump over it very easily. So those who have taken shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, that means those who have sincerely surrendered to Krishna. And their goal is Param Padam. That means Vaikuntha. Back home, back to Godhead, Golok Vrindavan. Padam Padam Vipadam Natesham, where there is no anxiety or difficulty at every step. In the material world, it's opposite. Padam Padam Yad Vipadam. In spiritual world, Padam Padam Vipadam Natesham. So taking shelter of Krishna, one can easily cross over. This is very, very difficult, and Prabhupada is often quoting that Devi Shri Gurma Maya Duratya. Very, very difficult to cross over the material energy. But those who take shelter of Krishna, then it's not difficult. But the point is, sincerely taking shelter of Krishna is also not a joke. Are we sincerely trying? Am I sincerely trying? I should always introspect. What is going on in my heart? Am I trying more and more for, better this, better that, material, making plans in this to be happy in this material world? Or am I making plans to take real shelter of Krishna? What is going on in my heart? I only know. Okay, any other comments or questions anyone has? Yes, Prabhuji, please.
I know the time is over. Just the main, this sloka is quoted. This is an important sloka. It's quoted all the time. Other point, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning about Durga with the 10, with 10 hands, with 10 weapons. And we know from the past times of Bharat Maharaj, right? Bharat Maharaj as a Jad Bharata was caught by the demons who wanted to use him for the sacrifice. Remember that past time? We crossed the Bharat Maharaj, right? Bharat Maharaj past time we passed through.
Yes, it's in Canto 4. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So we heard from there how Durga herself protected her pure devotee and killed all those demons who wanted to use him as sacrifice, as a Jad Bharata. So these are some of the points. Thank you, Prabhupada.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Any other comments or questions before we stop today's discussion? Okay, so with this, we will stop here for today and continue tomorrow with the next verse. Grantraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Shri Nrsimha Bhagavan ki jai, Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, pure devotional service ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhaktavind ki jai. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.